Okay. All right, guys, we are recording. So I am super, super excited to kind of give you guys some info, give you some goods. Each of you that are on here that are watching this right now, you've made a decision, right? And a decision starts in your heart and ends in your mind, because you have to have that feeling of knowing what you want, but then you also have to take that belief and that action to actually follow through on what you guys want. And so sometimes we can make a decision and we can say, I'm doing this. I said XYZ, I'm going to run for this. And then we're like, what do we do, right? And we can get overwhelmed and we can get stuck. So I wanted to just make a quick video for you guys to kind of lay out some basics of what it looks like to have intentional focus and to run in your business. Some of you guys have been in other businesses before and you know what momentum looks like. Some of you have never been in a business like this before, and you're like, what did I just say yes to? What did I just sign my life away? No, you did not. But you are going to get crazy amounts of results if you guys follow what I'm going to tell you right now, okay? So the biggest tip I can give you, if you have made this decision to run with us right now, is you should have already decided on the rank that you want and the goal that you want, okay? That needs to be forefront in your mind. But now you have to decide, how much time do you have? If you guys have a full-time job, you want some great news? You can still do this, okay? It's your goals, your time, your focus, your effort. Put those blinders on and put one foot in front of the other. My effort, my time that I'm going to put in might look different than yours, might look different than Nikki's, might look different than Rachel's. That's okay. There are goals, just like they're your goals. So how much time do you have, right? Not me, you. So what does that time look like? Look at a calendar, figure out when you can't work this business, then figure out when you can and schedule it in, okay? So some of you guys might have, fun summer plans on the schedule. That's okay. You guys can still have a life and work this business. That's what we're in this business for, right? For freedom of time. There are going to be things that you might just have to say, you know what? That's not important right now. I can do that later. And push some of those things off. I've had to do that. So take a look at your calendar and figure out what needs to be there and what maybe isn't a priority for you right now, because you're making this business a priority. So that's what I'm looking at doing. I'm not looking at canceling anything, but just take a look and prioritize your time and what you have, okay? So, and then you have to know, what is it that I'm doing? So if you're saying I have an hour a day, okay, I have an hour a day to commit to this. It's, what are you doing in that hour to run? What are you doing in that hour to push you forward, to push you towards your goal? That is super important that you guys know exactly what it is. And here's the thing that I'm asking of you. I'm asking you your highest and best effort. What does that look like? Okay, I can't answer that question. I don't know what your highest and best effort looks like. It's going to look different. Like I said, we all have different lives. We all have different goals. We all have different time commitments. We all have our own highest and best effort. I promise you, though, we're about to do a 90-day run. If you give your highest and best effort every single day for 90 days, you're going to blow past what that goal is. Because I know that sometimes when you create a goal, it's conservative. It's, this is what I want or what I think can happen, right? But we can do, God says we can do immeasurably more than what we can even think and imagine. So if you are giving every single day your highest and best effort, I'm going to be so excited to celebrate ranks higher than what you thought was possible, than what you put down there, okay? So highest and best effort. So what does that look like? Every single day, those daily activities, if you have an hour, and that's what I'm going to work off of, because I work my business in power hours. I might have multiple hours during the day, but it's intentional income producing activities. So what does that look like? So if you have an hour, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do in that hour to push your business forward, okay? 10 minutes, you're going to grow your network. Okay. You need to constantly be adding people to your network, putting people into the funnel, right? Into your sales funnel. If you're working this business belly to belly, growing your network is talking to people when you're out and about, when you're at the grocery store, get phone numbers, talk to people, right? If you're growing your network on social media, it's adding people, adding friends on Facebook, adding followers on Instagram. Take 10 minutes a day, do that. Okay, so if you're working this business in a power hour on your computer, on your phone, it's probably going to look like Facebook and Instagram. You're going to be adding friends, adding to your network. Okay, that's the first thing, 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to build relationships. So that looks like interacting, that looks like commenting, liking, upping the algorithm. You're commenting and liking on Facebook and commenting and liking on Instagram. Okay, belly to belly, that looks like texting people, saying hi to people, building relationships when you're out and about, touching base with a high school friend that you haven't talked to in a while, right? It has nothing to do with Emrys. It has everything to do with interacting with people and building those relationships, okay? The next thing you're going to do, you're going to take 10 minutes and you're going to make a post. You're going to make an intentional post. Not every day should it be about Emrys, but every day you should be adding value to your networks in some sort of way, okay? So you're going to take 10 minutes to post. If you're using stories, you guys are doing that all throughout the day. So you just did 3 income producing activities and it took you about 30 minutes. You grew your network, you've built relationships, and you've made a post, all right? The next 30 minutes is probably the most important part as far as working with intention. So for 15 minutes, you are going to message. You're going to message new people, people that you have not talked to yet about Emrys, okay? And we're going to get into a challenge I have for you at the very end of this. The next 15 minutes, you're going to follow up. So that's where you're following up and sending messages to people that you've already talked to about this business. They're 2 very different things. You should be sending new messages every day to people, giving them the opportunity to take a look at Emrys or our products, and you should be following up with people every single day that you've already talked to about Emrys, okay? So you guys, that's an hour of work right there. You grew your network. You've built relationships by interacting with people. You've made a post, so you're putting it out there. You've opened your business on social. You're messaging people, asking them to take a look, and you're following up with people, okay? If you do those things every single day, your business is going to move forward. If you have a half an hour, if you have an hour, you can do those things to move your business forward. Okay, so weekly activities. So every single Friday, what you're going to do is you're going to look into your organization and you're going to write down a list of people on your team that you're going to push to go executive that week. Okay? Who on your team is going to break executive? Who on your team are you running to executive? If you have one person on your team, that's the person that you're running to executive. Okay? So who on your team are you running to executive? Every Friday, you should have a list of those people. Okay. Every Wednesday, you guys should be looking at where you're at with your volume and figuring out, hey, I'm running Sarah and Sally and Jim to executive this week, and they're almost there. Reaching out to Sally and Jim and Sarah, I don't remember the names I used, reaching out to those people that you're running to executive and saying to them, hey, you are one synergy bottle away from hitting executive. Like, how excited is that, right? So every Wednesday, know where you're at for your goals for Thursday night, okay? So those are 2 very intentional things that you can be doing during this run that will move your business forward. Every Friday, know who you're running with that next week. Every Wednesday, take a look at where that volume's at and figure out where you're going, okay? So those are daily activities and weekly activities that you should be doing every single day. Now let's talk about what I'm going to challenge you guys to do, okay? So this is going to be a 30-day contacting push. I've done this before and experienced insane momentum every single time I did it and followed through with it. And I've watched every single person in my team have that insane momentum as well if they do this. So in order to hit big goals, we have to have big activity, right? And that magical word that you hear Aspen talk about, it's called momentum. This is how you get that, okay? I want you guys thinking about an airplane. Can an airplane take off the ground by just going 10 miles an hour? No. Can it take off going 50 miles an hour? No. An airplane has to be in full throttle all the way, all the speed, all the way off the ground, right? Then once it gets up to a certain altitude, it can cruise. It doesn't have to be on crazy, insane full throttle the whole time. But in order for it to take off, it does. I believe in order to experience full momentum into your business, you have to be all in for your highest and best effort. And like I talked about, only you can decide what that looks like, right? So this is a time where it is all in, ready to go, full throttle, creating momentum. Have you ever heard that word and been like, I wonder what that's like? I wonder what would happen if my business experienced it? You make it happen. If you have nobody on your team can explode and create massive amounts of momentum because you made a decision and you're deciding to do it and you're going all in, okay? This challenge I'm going to give you guys is something that will help you do that, help you get that going. So every day, your job is to ask people to take a look at Emrys. We're just going to 10x our results. We're just going to 10x our activity to get the results and to go past the results that we want by staying consistent. That's all this is, you guys. It's creating massive amounts of action and being consistent enough to see it through, okay? So you're going to make a list. Where are you coming up with these people? You're going to look through Facebook. You're going to look through Instagram. You're going to look at a memory jogger. You're going to pull up your phone and just write down every single person in your contact list, right? Your job is to write down a list of as many people as you can possibly think of, okay? This is an important part, you guys. You have to have your list in place in order to really run with this challenge. So, I would say you need to have 100 to 300 people on that list. And I know some of you might be going, that's a lot of people. Yes, we have big goals, right? So 100 to 200 to 300 people on this list, okay? So here's how the numbers work. If you have 100 people on your list, maybe half will even respond to you. Then maybe half of those people are actually going to take a look at what we've got going on. So now you're down to 25, and we know about 1 in 10 people actually say yes to this, right? So it's a numbers game that we're working with this consistency. You're working the numbers. So if you want to up the average of how many people you're signing, you need to up the amount of people that you're talking to, right? It's just a numbers game. So if 10% will say yes, you guys, if you want to sign 10 brand ambassadors this month, probably need to talk to 100 people. How many of you want to sign 10 brand ambassadors this month? How many of you want to change 10 people's lives right now by joining your team? Okay? We just got to talk to more people. So what this looks like, how this is going to be. So you pick your number. You decide, are you a 100? Are you a 200? Or are you 300? I'm doing 300. Okay? I'm going for 300. So that's my number. So every single one of those people is going to get contacted. Every single one of them. If you're doing 100, you're contacting all of them. If you're doing 200, you're contacting all of them. You guys get what I'm saying? So what this is going to look like is then you're either sending 10 if you're doing 100, 20 if you're doing 200, or 30 if you're doing 300 messages every single day, okay? Every single day, that's what you're doing. You're sending those amount of messages. And you're just saying things like, hey, I'm not sure if you've been following my post, but have you seen what I'm up to? Hey, I just started this new business. Like, we need to have a chat. You need to take a look at what I have my hands on, okay? So simple little things, you guys, not paragraphs of information. It's quick little voice audio notes to as many people as you can, all right? Like I said, this is a numbers game. So for the first 10 days, that's what you're going to do. And what I would do is I would get a notebook and I would write day 1, okay? June 20th, starting tomorrow. And you're going to write down the names. If you're doing 100, you're going to write down the 10 people that you talked to that day. Okay? So you're writing down those people. You're asking them to take a look at Emrys. Your goal, obviously, is to get them to a one-on-one, to an event, to a Discover Emrys, to watch the video. They need to actually take a look at what we're doing. Okay? So that is the goal. What I would recommend you guys do, though, is set a timer And so say if your goal is 10 people, you're setting a timer for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, how much ever time you need to send out 10 messages. And don't respond. If somebody automatically responds to you, don't respond until you send your messages. Why? Because you could get lost in a conversation with one person, eats up all of your time, and you're like, crap, I only sent out one message, and that person didn't even get on. You need to get your messages sent out, okay? Have that time, take that time, send the messages out, and then you have the rest of the day and the evening to follow up with the people that are responding, but get your messages out. So day 1, June 20th, I'm writing down my 10 people that I'm talking to, okay? Day 2, June 21st, writing down the 10 people that I'm talking to. So for 10 days, the first 10 days, you're contacting either, if you're doing 100, you're doing 10. If you're doing 200, you're doing 20. If you're doing 300 people, you're doing 30, okay, each day. Then day 11 through the 20th day, you're following up with those people. So on day 11, I'm going to go back to day 1, and I'm going to follow up with all those people that haven't signed yet, okay? Day 12, I'm going back to day 2 and following up with all those people that haven't signed yet. So it's just a, hey, I just wanted to check in. I wanted to circle back around with you. I know we were talking about Emrys. You had a couple of questions. What can I do to help answer those for you, right? So you're just following up with those people. Then the last 10 days of this run, you're following up to close. Okay, lots of these people you've been meeting with, lots of these people have been watching Discover Emrys. You are making the last ditch effort for those last 10 days to follow up and close every single one of these people. You might need an upline help. You might need third-party validation. You might need to be throwing them in chats with me and Nikki and Steph and your leaders to help you close them as well. Okay, so the point of all of this, you guys, is getting consistent. It's consistent action every single day that's going to lead to those big results that you want. Here's something I just want you guys to think about. Okay, if you're plugging in, if you're working your business monthly, your business is going to grow monthly. If you're plugging in weekly and you're growing your business weekly, or if you're plugging in weekly and talking to people weekly, your business is going to grow weekly, okay? If you're plugging into this business daily and you're messaging people daily, what's going to start to happen? You're going to start signing people daily. Can you guys think about that? When every single day in your business, you're signing brand ambassadors and you're signing VIP customers, it doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen overnight. When you look at people that have success, you guys, it didn't happen on accident. They didn't just wake up lucky. They didn't just wake up and have 45 people in their inbox giving them credit card information. No, they had to work for it. But that happens daily, step by step, day by day, little activity by little activity, okay? So if you're growing your business and working your business daily, your guys' business is going to start growing daily. And that's where the momentum that is going to start happening for you guys. It's going to happen very, very soon if you're doing something like this. So last thing I'll leave you guys with is when you are in something like this where you've made that decision in your mind and you know that you're going for it, you got to know what your why is. You got to know why you're doing it, because it's going to get hard and it's going to get challenging and you might get a couple no's and there might be a day where you wake up and you just don't feel like it, right? Well, I don't want you to work your business based on what you feel. I want you to work your business based on what you want and why you want it, because that's the thing that's going to push you through to the next day to send that next message, okay? So the goal of what we are doing here, you guys, is to build executives through our organization, to build 1-stars, to build 2-stars, so you can go all the way to director and above. So the purpose of all of this right now is you're going to be messaging people to sign them. As soon as you sign them, you're pouring belief into them and helping them go sign 2 people. And then we're just repeating that process over and over and over and over again, okay? It's super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. There's only a few things that you guys can do every single day to move your business forward. Hopefully, this covered that. There's other things, obviously, that can always pop up and happen. But if you only have an hour a day to work your business, you can get it done. It's just intention and it's consistency, all right? So I'm super, super excited about what we're doing and where we're going, and that you have said yes to this.